Ever wondered about the red jacket that a lot of scout leaders wear? Today we're going to discover what that is all about. Hey, ScouterStan, let's talk a little bit about this icon of scouting, the red jacket. A lot of people call it a red Jac-Shirt or jacket. That's something that comes up. In fact, on our channel, we had a subscriber that actually wanted to know more information about the Jac-Shirts or the jackets, the red jackets that are out there. And today we're going to talk about it. There's a lot of different information out there about the red jackets. Now, the first red jacket actually started to be worn out of necessity because there was some manufacturing issues, and in the 1940s, as far as the felt, the actual material that they made out of, felt was an inner lining on some of the really old ones from the 40s. They also had, it's a wool jacket, so it's extremely warm, and it's lined. So this is one of those the things that kind of developed over time. There's a lot of debate, but it seems to focus around the second Scout executive and Philmont. And there's debate about it, okay? and that whole thing is just, it's outside the realm of where it else, the actual choice. There's many different variations of the red wool jacket. And there's different types that we'll talk about. Now, the original scout leader, the scout master, would wear a macadam jacket. It had 4 pockets, 2 on the breast and 2 down below. And it had a built-in belt that was actually part of the jacket. That was the original scout leader jacket, and it varied from being a dark gray, even plaid. I've seen them in different styles, but it never really had a consistency, and that was a problem. And they wanted that consistent jacket, a very plain jacket, one that could be repaired, one that would last a lifetime. Now, the original jacket was red to be identifiable. If you're out in the field, all green, blue sky, red kind of stands out. And that's a great way of being able to identify where the leadership is, being a red jacket. But they had blue ones, light blue ones, and they also had green ones. And you might even see some of those even today. There are some situations such as Wood Badge where they wear a green jacket instead of the red jack. So it's a little bit different there. And so it really depends on where you are, what region you're in, what kind of climate you are in. Because the green ones typically are cloth. They're not wool. And that way they're not as hot. But whereas where if you want warmth, if you're living up north, you want one of the original red jackets, the red jackets that are out there. Now, there are thinner ones that are just cloth. They're not. It's called a Jac-Shirt, and the Jac-Shirt is identical to the jacket. It has the same kind of cuffs and the pockets and so on, but it's cloth usually. It's not the heavy wool. And the original ones had felt on the inside. It was lined with felt, so they were very warm. Today, I believe they are poly wool, so that's a mix, and they do different linings on the inside. But it varies from region and area to area. Now, the red Jac-Shirt and the red jacket actually varied depending on the scout or the scouter. Scouts typically wore the Jac-Shirt And this is purely because the wool jackets are expensive. They've always been expensive, and it's a part that you don't want to outgrow. So they would often do a Jac-Shirt, and they could wear that over something, and then eventually get the wool jacket as an adult. So there wasn't any policies or procedures or different levels they had to be at. They did, only Eagle Scouts. No, it varied depending on the sizing and really what you wanted to spend. That's the thing about the red jackets. That's how they have different ones for different uniform use. Now, with that in mind, this is not something you would, if you're at flags, this is something that you would take off. And a lot of times they would just take the jacket off, do the flag ceremony in full regulated uniform, then put the jacket back on because it was cold. So that was something that they did. And it was a tradition, but it really wasn't appropriate. It's like taking your hat off when the flag goes by. That was a custom, still is. The same thing is true with the jacket. They would remove the jacket if they were in a meeting or something of that nature. They don't wear it the whole time. That is not the uniform. It's not a substitute. So keep that in mind. Be proud of your uniform. Be in uniform. It's impressive. So many people have no idea about scouting, and you're a perfect representation of scouting. So please don't feel bad about wearing your uniform. Be appropriate. You don't wear uniforms into inappropriate places. But if you have to stop by the grocery store to pick up a bag of ice for a meeting or something that they're going to have, just walk in there in uniform. Answer questions. It's a great way to recruit. So there's a lot of things about wearing your uniform and being proud of your uniform. That's a great thing. Definitely check out that video. It'll tell you more about uniform. Now, the historical role of the Jac-Shirt or the red jacket kind of depends on your region. If you were in the South, especially on the American Gulf, that is, it's just too warm for a jacket most of the time of the year. But I live in Central Florida, and I'll tell you right off, it gets darn right cold. So a red jacket is a nice thing to have from time to time. Now up north, you may be wearing that jacket the entire fall and into the winter. And sometimes in the winter, it's just not heavy enough. So you might switch to a heavier jacket and then go back to the red jacket in the spring. But it really depends on the area. Historically, the wool jacket typically has to be dry cleaned, so it's expensive. So wearing it in appropriate environments where you're not going to get it soiled, that's one of those things that the individual has to really consider. That's an important thing. Now, the red jacket would often be used to display an enormous jamboree patch or an event patch that was significant. I've seen the canoe base, back in the day. That's Northern Tier. It was called a canoe base, and I've seen that back patch on a lot of red jackets. Philmont, I've seen the Philmont, the clover head patch actually put on the back, the oversized. And then I've also seen jamborees. Different jamborees will have a jacket patch, a big jacket patch. Typically, when you get the actual red jacket, there will be a small BSA patch, and that goes on the pocket. So there's instructions on where that goes. But on a lot of the Philmont jackets, they would actually put a bull. If you've gone on a trek, they would put a bull on the red jacket, and the black bull you'll see that on a lot of Scouters red jackets. Now keep in mind, they have a white one for the ladies that go on the treks and do that mountain experience at Philmont can wear that bull. So that's the interesting thing that you see on so many of these. Now the red jacket can have very big sentimental value to a scouter. A lot of times scouters will actually start putting event patches that they were involved in on their red jacket. It could be covered almost like a campfire blanket where it has all these different patches on it. And it too tells a story, just like the uniform tells a story. The red jacket could also tell that story. If you see the Red Bull, you know they've been to Philmont. If they have a jamboree from 1977 jamboree, big square patch on the back of their jacket, you know they were involved in it in some way, whether they went to it or they were a leader at it or something. That's the wonderful thing. A jacket can actually tell that story. It's pretty interesting. And so the red jacket is valued by scouters throughout America. That is a huge thing. Now, patch placement and the traditions around that can vary. Now, we talked about the bull, and we talked about all the different things that are on a red jacket that you might see. But different placing is really up to the individual. It's their jacket. So the only patch, and it's not even absolutely required, it's optional, is the Scout BSA patch that comes with the jacket. That's usually placed on the pocket. That is the left pocket, like almost like where the rank would go on a uniform shirt. That's where this ends up. But even that is kind of optional. So there's no particular anything. Now there are people out there that will have things embroidered onto the jacket. I know for a fact that staff members of Wood Badge will often put the different courses that they were on either the back or on the pocket. So it varies. This is something that's optional, and it's up to the individual to do that. There really isn't a placement. There's traditional placements that we talked about earlier, but generally there's no set rule. And with that, being that there's no set rule, you can put things on the jacket just to stir the conversation. Now, I would stay within Scout patches, appropriate patches. That's very important. As a Scout leader, you have to look at that and say, oh, Cub Scouts are going to see that. You have to think about those things. So it's the jacket should be appropriate to be seen by everybody, but it should be scouting related. Because if there's no rules, you can put anything you want on it. But you got to keep that in mind, that others will see that, and if that story is inappropriate, then you're going to have a problem. Same thing's true with a camp blanket. If you have all those patches on a camp blanket, you have to be prepared to talk about them. And you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or any of that stuff. That's not the point. The point is to, hey, these are things I know about. If you have questions, I'm glad to help. That's the wonderful thing about the story that a uniform, a red jacket, or even a campfire blanket can tell. Hey, before we go any further, I want to make sure that you're invited to the Campfire Chat. Now, this is our live meeting we have each month on the first Sunday, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. This is a fantastic way to get involved with live chat, and we have special guests. We have all kinds of neat things that go on. So definitely check that out. I also want to thank all of the Patreon members of this channel. In addition to that, I also want to thank all of the channel members right here on this channel. They have a fantastic group of people on this channel. They get a lot of perks. They get a lot of little icons and all kinds of neat stuff. But definitely check that out. If you're interested in becoming a member, definitely hit the little join button. It'll tell you more information. That's a great way to make this channel even better. Make it a part of what you do. And I'm so proud of you. We're just gonna jump right back in. Modern availability. There are red jackets out there that are washable. So they're not only just dry clean. They're a poly wool, which is a combination of those fibers, and they are washable. Sometimes the liner is removed during that washing process. Keep in mind, if it's never been washed, that red will come out slightly. So don't put it in with any of the whites. It will turn them bright pink. So that red will fade a little bit. Not much, but a little bit over time. Some that have never been washed, especially the wool ones, they will actually get a little darker over time. It's an oxidation, actually. So you do have to be careful with them. And they need to be in a not a totally dry environment. If they're totally kept dry, that over time the wool will actually get brittle. So if you're storing these for a long period of time, you want to make sure there's a little bit of normal moisture in the air. Okay, we're talking 30%, maybe 20%, but if it's absolutely none, that could be damaging over time. Now you will find these jackets on eBay. You'll find them on all kinds of auction areas. You might even see them at estate sales. These are very valuable collectible items. So be forewarned. There's different kinds, different ones. Look for the supply division logo. It's a round logo that's in there. So make sure that it is authentic. There are lookalikes. There are a lot of, there's no patent per se on that design. So, a lot of coat companies may come up with something very similar. So do your research. There's a lot of that kind of stuff. And the last thing you want is the uniform police to come running after you. In fact, if you have a chance, there's a video up there about the uniform police, the self-appointed uniform police. And we need to be nice about it to those individuals who take it upon themselves to correct all the wrongs in uniforming. That's the thing. And that video takes a kind of a lighthearted view of it, but definitely check it out. Now, the traditional wool jackets, you do have to make sure that there's a little bit of moisture in the air, not a lot, because then you go in the other direction. You have to have a little bit of moisture in the air. Wool, over time, shrinks. It's a strange effect. It might even drop a size. So if you normally wear a large, you might want to get an extra large, just so that over time, as it starts to relax a little bit and kind of tighten up the fibers, that's the thing about it. It relaxes in certain areas like the arms, and it tightens up around the waist. So that's the neat thing about wool. It will kind of conform to its shape, and that's one of those things. If you got the moisture right, you keep it clean, keep it away from fires, little sparks, you'll be fine. A jacket will last you many lifetimes. You'll be able to hand that down, provided it's taken care of. Now, the red jacket does tell a story, as I said earlier, when you see that and you see the patches and you see the things that are on it, it can tell a very detailed story, a novel of information about that Scouter. It may not be them. That might be the jacket of their father. That's a wonderful thing. It could be a lineage of different things that have happened that you've handed it down through the family. Scouting is like that. It does kind of lend to those traditions. There are personal stories in that jacket. There's events they've been a part of, national jamborees, where all the scouts from all over America came together. That jacket might have been at the closing ceremony of those things. That's the neat thing about the red jacket. If it's a Jac-Shirt, it might have been one of the original ones that the OA would wear when they were having their adventures at Philmont. These are things that went on in the past that have a wonderful story. And when you see these and it's unique, you need to take a moment and really start to absorb the information that's being shown to you in a red jacket or a Jac-Shirt. Now, sadly, the red jackets are no longer exclusive. The supply division may or may not produce special runs, but this is something that is not absolutely official. It's not part of the uniform guide other than where to place the patch that comes with the jacket. I believe that is in the uniform guide. But even then it says optional. So it just might be the red jacket, the red jacket by itself. You may see green ones for Wood Badge. You might see blue ones for Sea Scouts. These are things that are historic. And but look into it. The red jacket is probably the most common. You're going to see that a lot, especially when you see a bunch of old timers, old Scouters around. A lot of them will be wearing a red jacket. Now, things change in Scouting. There might come a day when the red jacket is actually more formally regulated, or suggestions in the guide to where things go on that jacket. But for right now, as filming this video, it's optional. All of it is very optional. There's traditional placements, but nothing required. There would be nothing for a bandana to be sewn onto it, okay, or a neckerchief, or a merit badge sash or something like that can be actually included as part of the jacket. There's things you could do like that, and that would definitely tell a story. But there are traditions, and typically even the polywool jackets, the washable wool, those are expensive. So you really don't want to mess them up with a bunch of patches you really don't care about. You want to put things on there that have deep and meaning, and that's the thing about Scouting. We do that kind of thing. And we work so hard with our Scouts and Scouters that we should make sure that they have an opportunity to really put those things on a jacket and be proud of it. Scouting is a wonderful thing that we all enjoy, that we all do. And I'm so glad that you're getting so much out of these lectures about Scouting. We have a lot of them online. So please take some time and look through them. There's definitely going to be something there that you didn't know. There's a lot of information. And my own take on things too. So definitely, if you have a moment, definitely look through it. And we do a lot for our Scouts, so keep that up. It can be trying, but we're in this for the long run, and we can do this. It's something that is near and dear to my heart, and I definitely want to make sure that you know that I care, and I want you to know that if you put a comment down there, I've got a red jacket, I'm going to definitely give you a thumbs up. Okay, so definitely take a moment, place a comment in. I love to hear from you. So keep up that good hard work. We're going to do a lot of new things next year, so keep on our channel. And if you're curious about some of the newest updates to the uniform, okay, check out the video there. Until next time, I'll see you on the trail.